hurt and then got suspended, and that the Knicks kind of found out that, all right, maybe we shouldn't have signed this guy to a 4-year, $72 million contract. So Hernan Gomez was going to get the minutes. Well, now you have Cantor showing up, and he's a 6'11 center. He's not going to play power forward because that's where Porzingis is going to be,
right?
Unless you're going to make Porzingis a 7'3" small forward, which I guess is doable because he likes to be out on the perimeter anyway, and his rebounding has always been called into question. I'm not exactly sure how many rebounds Porzingis averaged last year, but it was probably less than 7 a game, which for a guy who's 7'3",
yeah,
he needs to rebound better.
He's not the best rebounder.
So from that standpoint, let's go back to the basics here as far as this trade goes. All I heard after the deal was made, terrible trade for the Knicks. Well, it was never going to be anything but a terrible trade for the Knicks.
Thank you, Phil Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Phil Jackson made sure more than a year ago that the Knicks were never going to be able to get value for Carmelo Anthony.
Nope.
Now, when you look at what Carmelo Anthony is now, he's an aging player, and he can whine all he wants about, ESPN doesn't respect me. They had the NBA player rankings, and he was 64th. Now, for a guy who plays no defense whatsoever, 64th is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy who's close to being in his mid-30s, or actually probably is in his mid-30s at this point, depending on what your definition of mid is. All right? So now we're in a situation where he doesn't have a lot of value. He still had this no-trade clause, which, they haven't even made the announcement yet. The announcement is coming today but this trade is done. So now the Knicks get back, like I said, Cantor, who creates a logjam at center. And with him around, does that mean that Noah is going to be on the bench? And if he's on the bench, you're paying the guy $18 million a year. Why do you have him? He's not tradable at this point, not for his contract. His contract immediately became one of the worst in the NBA. The Knicks kind of celebrated this deal, saying, well, we got 2 more guys who are 25 and under, because they also got Doug McDermott, who I'm sure you remember Doug McDermott's brother. He was the kid from Creighton, a three-point shooter. He played for his father at Creighton, and it was a nice story for his senior year when they made a little bit of a run in the NCAA tournament. He scored. He was a big scorer. He's a nice player, but he's not going to be a difference maker for the Knicks. He's basically he's almost like Kyle Korver, even though he's only 25. He's basically an outside shooter. Has very little game. Was traded last year by the Bulls to Oklahoma City and only played 22 games for the Thunder. Averaged 6.6 points a game in 22 games for the Thunder last season. Cantor last year, 14.7 points and 6.7 rebounds per game, which isn't bad and shows some improvement. He actually, not to get back into politics, but he is from Turkey,
okay,
which is not the greatest country in terms of human rights these days. But he had an article in the Players Tribune. That's why I'm bringing this up, the Derek Jeter website.
By the way, a lot of sports guys went to Derek's website to comment, and he put a lot of Twitter stuff up there too. So
Derek Jeter.
People, the players like it because they don't get questioned back. By the way,
I just sat on the highest chair in the world.
Yeah, these chairs go up high. By the way, just to let you know, brother, Christopher Johnson is Woody Johnson's younger brother.
Wow. All right.
And his middle name is Wold.
Wold?
W-O-L-D.
Must be one of those family name kind of things.
Yeah, it is. And I found this on your old competition, the NJ.com people.
NJ.com.
Connor Hughes.
They do a nice job.
So we just pulled it off their website. So it's like if I got to be the ambassador to England, you would take over my thing because you can't do both. Though Trump seems to be doing both.
So if you become an ambassador to a country, I get to take over Beatles songs?
If you want to, sure.
Nice.
But Trump didn't give up anything. He still runs that hotel, or his family does, but they're all connected.
The hotel chain.
Well, no, it's about the
hotel.
hotel, the Union Station Hotel.
Well, but yeah,
that's
just one of many.
All the people come in, they say, well, let's stay there, make sure Trump knows we stayed there. So
let's not get into that.
Remember, Trump doesn't hate countries that have Trump buildings.
Let's not get into that.
Okay, I'm just
let's not get too political here. So anyway, again, Knicks and also Knicks picked up a second-round pick from the Thunder,
which is great. They need
you know what? That irked me.
Why?
Because it should have been a first-round pick. I mean, let's face it. Player-wise, the Knicks aren't getting much. All right? I don't think Enes Kanter is anything close to a difference maker. I know Doug McDermott is not a difference maker. He's maybe an 8th or a 9th man in the rotation. Oklahoma City, with the addition of Carmelo Anthony, and they already added Paul George in the offseason, they're more than likely going to be picking somewhere in the range of 20 to 25 next year for the NBA draft.
Right.
So why don't the Knicks get that pick? That should have been a fight.
Do they own it? That might be the question.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm assuming they do, only because the Thunder haven't made many trades. So
okay, but I mean, you know what? Maybe they just wanted to get rid of him. You know, maybe it's just like
they did want to get rid of him, but you still have to fight to get any trade.
Maybe they did.
Any trade you make has to be something of a battle, because you need to get every last thing that you can.
By the way, what are you doing October 1st?
I don't know. What's that?
It's a Saturday, I think.
What's
Sunday?
October 1st?
It's a Sunday.
Okay, I'm probably working at CBS.
Oh, okay, because Chicago's playing at Cyclones Park, and opening is JD and the Straight Shot.
Oh, I'm like Chicago. I thought, why would the Cubs be playing at Cyclones Park?
No, the band Chicago, and opening is it was listed as JD and the Straight Shot.
That's James Dolan's band. You have to say that, brother. People don't really know that.
How can people not know JD and the Straight Shot?
That's not a factual thing that people are just
I
running
played
around.
them on my show.
People are running around saying, "Oh, hey, it's a JD. Who's that?" Yeah, that's the James Dolan's band. That's really the only thing he cares about these days.
Well,
so, but
band's not bad. He sings though. That might be the problem.
It's nothing that I have any desire to go see or do.
So anyway, the Jets. Well, you know what? Let's take a break.
We're going to take a break.
Hold on.
Well, let me
2 more minutes.
All right, but let me just say this about the Knicks. Now we're looking at a roster that is certainly getting younger, and that's a good thing. I'll give the Knicks credit for that, because you need to try to build and to get younger and more athletic. Obviously, this is now Kristaps Porzingis' team. But the question
they just said, "Hey, you're the guy."
But the question there is, does Porzingis want to be here? He's got 2 more seasons on his rookie deal, and after that, he can leave.
Right.
So it's up to the Knicks to get far less dysfunctional than they have been for, I'm going to say a decade and be nice, because it's far more than a decade.
This is what they have to do. This season, they have to show that maybe next season they can make the playoffs. I think that's the best way to look at it, and keep Kristaps Porzingis around.
But
if not,
is he going to want to be that guy?
Well,
because he saw what Carmelo went through, and he's in a position. He's in a position where he's going to get a max deal.
He is, and that might
because they have to keep him,
and that might be the reason he stays. You know, Carmelo got $130 million to stay around,
and a no trade clause,
So imagine what
dumbest no trade clause in history.
Imagine what Porzingis can get if that's the case. So that's part of the whole thing, and you know he's in the catbird seat right now. Is the quote?
Well, in terms of money, yes, but in terms of happiness, that's a different story.
That's the question. You know, do you want to win a championship, or do you want to? You know, it also depends what happens with LeBron. You know, when he leaves, or when his contract comes up. So,
which is coming.
Yeah. So, all of a sudden it's not Cleveland anymore. Maybe where LeBron goes. Maybe he goes to Boston or something.
I don't think he's going to go to Boston. There's a lot of rumors that say he's going to go to L.A., but that's, again, let's not speculate on that. It's so far away, and he's not going to give any indication of where he's going to wind up.
And he'll never do that talk shit.
No. And I mean, he could wind up staying in Cleveland. We don't know.
Yeah. Because
now Dwayne Wade is a free agent. He's going to become a free agent. They negotiated a buyout with the Chicago Bulls, so Dwayne Wade can go anywhere he wants. He might go to Cleveland.
Yeah, he might. So anyway, we're going to take a break.
Tons of stuff going on in the NBA.
You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, streaming at ncc.edu.WHPC, also on the iHeartRadio app. And later on, the show will be on Spreaker, if you want to hear it back. Great first 20 minutes of the show.
Yes.
And actually the rest of it, too.
Yo, what happened to your hair?
You have to experience what I just experienced.
What'd you do? Stick your finger in an electric outlet or something?
Close. I just listen to electric air.
Electric air.
Electric air.
Can everyone stop repeating electric air and tell me what electric air is?
Electric air will get your heart racing, neurons sparking, and lips smiling. Join me, Tova, as I shock your ears with EDM's greatest hits. 5 out of 5 doctors agree 1 hour of electric air every week is just what you need to increase your energy and leave you feeling stimulated. Side effects may include uncontrollable mood swings, shuffling, and in some extreme cases, headbanging.
Too much headbanging, huh?
Dude, those side effects are serious. Seriously amazing.
So join me every Wednesday night at 8 for Electric Air on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Okay. Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
We found something out I'm shocked about. Brandon, you get pedicure?
Yes, of course. My feet are always getting wet and dried up in the socks and stuff like that.
First of all, I just want to put this in perspective. I cut my toenails once a year.
I've been wanting to get a manicure, but like I will feel weird to just go by myself. So maybe we can try it out. We
you guys go together. That's a no.
Not a shot.
Really? You wouldn't go?
No,
Mike, I'll take you up on that.
There you go.
There we
Two
go.
guys, no more than that.
No more than that.
No.
Okay.
If I were to do that, I'd want it to be a big group of guys.
Yeah, why not?
Let's like all march in there. Just
Yeah,
like
let's
we're
all
here
march
for the
in there and be like,
pedicures.
3, 5, 4, bum. I'm here to get my nails done.
Yeah, testosterone.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
One of the great political songs by Britain, a guy from Great Britain, not America. Pete Townsend wrote this. Who?
The Who.
Yeah.
Also one of the great TV themes of all time.
Well, that's, there was something years ago. It was 2004, and I read Rolling Stone, and they used to have the inquiring photographer, like the Daily News used to.
Yeah. Till the Daily News laid him off.
Yeah. So they go to some woman. Oh, what'd you think of the Who show? And she goes, "Oh, I really liked it, especially that theme from CSI."
Yeah.
And I just wanted to grab her through the paper and just say, "What do you know?" And then that really set me off because
that's how a lot of people know the music.
But
at least she knew the song.
I was like, how can you say that? And then the second thing that bothered me was I started to see people go to concerts in golf shirts and khakis.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's a
no.
standard outfit for a lot of people, brother. I know you can't stand that, but that's
you know
a standard
what?
outfit
That's
for
not
millions of Americans.
That's not a rock and roll outfit. You know what? You go get a pair of jeans and you get a T-shirt or something that looks decent. You don't wear khakis and a golf shirt.
That's how
with the belly sticking out.
That's how some people dress, brother.
And you don't do that at a rock and roll show.
But that's how some people dress.
But then the reason I say that is because when we were kids,
yes,
what did we do? We made fun of the adults who got dressed up to go see Frank Sinatra.
And
they didn't really get dressed up.
apparently you still make fun of them, but that's fine. At
least they wore ties. A golf shirt and khakis is like the worst thing to wear.
Ugh.
It is.
Yes, brother.
It is.
So anyway,
Jets are.
I will say this. I will say this. I'll point this out. When I saw Morrissey in London, I was amused, and the reason that I went to see Morrissey in London was because my girl's girl in a coma were actually opening for him. But most of the people there were there to see Morrissey. But then he played what song did he play? He played the theme song from Charmed.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you what the name of the song is because I'm really not a Morrissey fan. I think he's a bit of a jerk. But when he played that song, I'm like, oh, I know this song because I watched Charmed. So that was kind of amusing to me.
I didn't know it was his
I
version.
wasn't wearing khakis though.
You shouldn't.
No, it's his song. His song is the theme song to the
movie.
movie.
Rock and roll show. By the way, Tim, I got to mention this. Every Thursday here at 4 p.m.